What it do, YouTube? It's your boy TC3 with another reaction on y'all ass. And today we are reacting to Garou's future revealed, One Punch Man's next arc. I ain't gonna lie to you, after watching the Dragon Ball Z video with Goku's with Frieza's reveal, I decided I wanted to follow dude's channel because I talked to one of my buddies and he said apparently he actually goes through and reads the manga and informs you. So why not do this together, me and you? This is what we do. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys are new, welcome to the TC3 family. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to be an honorary member. Other than that, you're dirt. Let's get into it though.
In the latest chapter of One Punch Man, the arc comes to a close with a bang. Pun intended. After the heroes previously wanted to punish Garou for his actions and crimes, Saitama and a few others stood up for him and allowed him to escape. Now we get to see where he went, which turned out to be a waterfall, and how everyone else is doing, including Tario and Waganma. Well, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. And it is going to be a long wait until the next chapter, a month, so enjoy this one. The cover page for chapter 170, titled What Was Gained, features what looks like a serene vacation with Saitama, Genos, and his psychic sisters on a staircase leading to the sea.
They better have rebuilt Genos. That's all I know.
On the side, Garou and Bang are chilling under an umbrella with sunglasses on, looking just as calm and peaceful. I don't think I ever really noticed how much the two look alike despite not being blood related, but it becomes more obvious throughout this chapter how much they have in common. Also, in many ways, this image reflects the group and what is going on for them, but you'll see why later on. The chapter itself starts with Garou monologuing, something he has in common with Genos about why he chose to become a human monster hero hunter. Because as he puts it, the world needs absolute unbiased evil, or so he thought. His thinking was that if heroes couldn't save everyone, then he would make everyone fear this one person to create a unity between them. Garou also points out that humans, despite doing evil as well, aren't always punished for their misdeeds. Getting more riled up, Garou explains that the way things are is an imperfect fake brand of peace.
So, I mean, yeah, but the fuck, who really is gonna unite under one umbrella against one motherfucker to fight against one motherfucker? Because until you're dead, they're gonna be united. But when you die, they're gonna be back clashing. That's the fuck. So you basically made an imperfect peace if you really want to be technical.
And that's because it allows people to become complacent and commit evil, though on a smaller scale than monsters. And of course, he has to bring up Tario, who he has saved multiple times from both humans and monsters. It seems as though he was the trigger for Garou's plan to be put in motion, seeing as the ugly little brat was constantly picked on, and heroes nearly killed him when they didn't realize he was in the shed. Screaming his lungs out, Garou announces that is why he needed to become the absolute strongest monster that no hero could ever take down. Meanwhile, the balding man with glasses he's telling this to has no clue why he's getting so riled up. They're actually just discussing the dine and dash he did that Saitama ultimately punished him for due to his own dine and dashing, but whatever. With a closed fist, Bang strikes Garou hard enough for Stars to show up and tells him to answer the man's question. He might just be as intolerant of long speeches as Saitama is. Who knows? Eventually, Garou must answer the questions because they are shown outside the police station, with Bang forcing Garou to bow his head in apology. As they walk down the street, Bang reveals that there has already been an investigation into all the damage Garou's caused the week prior. This also means that it has been at least a week since he disappeared from his execution at the hands of Sweet Mask. We find out their next stop on the road to Garou's salvation is to have him apologize to all the victims of his hero hunt, and man, are those a lot of people.
About to say, he be about to be going on that long ass list of apologies.
But seriously, how can you possibly make up for someone whose arm you took off? Either way, Garou is still sporting his trademark bratty attitude and acting like he won't do it, but ultimately he will. He even goes as far as saying, "Don't tell me what to do, you're not my dad." At that, the narrator informs us how absent his parents were in his life, which would explain his rebellious behavior. But Bang just quietly ignores that comment like a proper teacher would. As always, the old master offers some sound advice, saying that even if he's not good for much, he can still bow his head since it is still attached. And honestly, if Bang would have died during this arc, I would have rioted. I think Garou might have felt the same. He clearly has a soft spot for him. And as if Bang himself had experience with neglectful parents, he says, all it takes to become a parent is to have children. Wow, he is dropping some gems left and right.
Damn.
At that, even Garou's eyes widen and pay attention, knowing that his sensei is fine with just being a teacher to him if it means keeping him on the right path. Garou then laughs and Bang jokes that his student gave him a hard time. What an understatement. If only he knew he died in a previous version of events. But before we continue with these two, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on and smash that like button if you too want a sensei like Bang in your life. We then get a flashback to how the two reunited after his escape. Bang shows us a memory of a raging waterfall and Garou sitting underneath it as a means of training himself. A very common image for martial arts. Sitting there cross-legged and naked, Garou opens one eye when he realizes someone is there, his ex-master. Bang comes into view with a walking stick and a bag tied around himself, huffing from having climbed all the way there. It makes sense that if anyone could find him, it would be his master who was continuously wanting to take the blame for his actions. Even so, Bang reveals that he was the one who had shown the secret place to Garou originally, which explains why he was able to find him here so easily. He is the only one who could have known. And I suppose Saitama could have found him too, but he's too busy looking for his demolished apartment right now. Interestingly, Bang wonders if Garou chose such a specific place because deep down, he wanted to be found by him. And as if hearing Bang's thoughts, Garou tells him not to get the wrong idea. The only reason he came back with Bang was because he wants to remember his fist. If you recall, that was a martial arts style that Garou had created after learning and combining all the techniques he saw, as well as gaining power through monsterization. He called it Monster Calamity Godslayer Fist. I find it fascinating that he'd call his technique that, then purposely turn down God's power and end up on the side of the heroes, as if knowing beforehand that he needed to slay God. But that's another topic. What's fascinating is that Garou also mentions that he has tried sparring with other heroes, but none were good enough to go against him on a daily basis like Bang is. Who are these heroes who accepted to fight him, I wonder? I'd be surprised if it was any S-class ones. Half jokingly, the old hero closes his eyes and almost seems to bow his head in thanks for the compliment. At the same time, Garou thinks about how he lost everything he had gained when his power seeped out. Apparently, he no longer has access to anything since being punched by Saitama. Whoops. We're starting back from square one, I guess. Then Garou asks Bang about young Tario, who I believe helped save his soul rather than his body. Bang says that he's been doing well, and we're shown exactly how well. In a park, Tario and some other kids are playing rock, paper, scissors to decide who will play the monster in their game. But the kids, being kids, purposely plan for Tario to lose so they can beat on him. However, Tario happily agrees to be the monster, with a smile even. And this is clearly because of how much he looks up to Garou and his beliefs. As predicted, the other boys stomp on Tario and use hero moves while laughing. But Tario is no longer the same little coward. Albeit covered in dirt and dust, he gets back up with a fierce look in his eyes and a smile. He denies that he's a monster, all while striking a very familiar pose, because he is actually Garou Man the hero. Wow. With determination in his eyes, he tells them to come at him as many times as they want, because he'll keep on getting back up. The little touch of him calling them fake heroes really cements how much Tario admires Garou. Not that he's wrong considering how they conspired against him. The boys inevitably get irritated by this change in the status quo of heroes versus monsters and argue that he should just die because they beat him up already. But before he can explain who inspired that character, Waganma calls his name from his father's car. With an energetic wave from Waganma, Tario's face lights up as he sees his friend. Of course, his playmates are shocked by such a rich kid being friends with someone like Tario. Waganma actually came to invite Tario over to play King Muso, and who wouldn't want that? The three kids from earlier, still shocked, couldn't help but ask if he's really friends with Waganma. By the way, these three kids are the same ones who shared the secret base with Tario and left him to get nearly killed by the heroes surrounding Garou. Anyways, Tario, the generous soul that he is, wonders if they can come over to play too. Although they seem hesitant, the boys agree to come along in the end and rush over to Waganma and Tario. I'm not so sure why they had to think about going over to a super rich kid's house to play video games, but you know how kids are.
Trying to act cool and shit, like y'all still lame as hell, boy.
Funnily enough, Child Emperor also gave Waganma a backpack like his own, and he shows it off for them. I wonder if the hero thought it would be a good idea for him to protect himself in case no one could save him fast enough, and that's why he provided it for him. Anyway, with these spider limbs popping out all over, Waganma's father Narinki smiles inside the car at his interaction with them. Beaming with pride at his son's growth, Narinki admits that he can barely recognize his son ever since he went through all that. Waganma's gotten so mature in such a short period of time, a long way from the spoiled, selfish boy he was during his kidnapping. Narinki even goes as far as saying, like father, like son. Which I don't see how they went through anything even remotely similar, but alright. At that, all the kids bum rush Narinki for space inside the car, squeezing him into one side, so they can all play King Musho together. A thoughtful shot of Garou comes next, smiling as he hopes for Tario to do his best, because he is also on the road to better himself. With that in mind, Garou asks Bang if he could arrange a fighting contest for him against the strongest heroes. He then lists who he wants: his master, Bomb, Flashy Flash, Blast, and Saitama. Even though he's lost all his gained power, he thinks if he fights them all in order, he will get them back without needing to monsterize. I do somewhat agree with the order, but good luck beating Saitama, Garou. Bang just laughs at him for thinking he could even beat him as he is right now, which I suppose is true. Not to mention, in the previous chapter, Metal Knight had them all go through physical examinations and detoxification because of the radiation. And now Bang's back is feeling quite good. If Silver Fang is already that strong while dealing with constant pain, imagine when he has nothing holding him back. Yikes. Of course, Garou just tells him to bring it on. Always ready for a challenge.
Okay.
The scene changes next to the Hero Association and a discussion between Cigar and Sitch. Apparently, Bang gave his resignation, intending to retire as a hero, but also appointed a successor. Not only does Bang intend to be Garou's guardian, but he will eventually introduce him to the association so he can take over. This makes sense considering how they use the same style of fighting, and if Bang can thoroughly change the way a student thinks, he could be a great hero. He surpassed him once before, he could do it again, and the right way this time. Cigar, regardless, feels like a big hole will be left behind in Bang's leaving, and I have to agree. He is a number 3 hero, and has always done his job to the best of his abilities, even at the ripe old age of 81. Not many heroes can say that as of now. Cigar seems hopeful though, that if Bang recommended someone, they must be good. Obviously he wasn't told it was Garou, and when he asks about the person, Sitch remains tight-lipped, knowing it might cause a strong reaction. Although Sitch seems uncertain it is a good idea, he trusts that Bang can turn Garou's behavior around enough for him to become a good replacement hero. That aside, he knows, and we know, that the heroes will likely freak out over the decision to let someone like Garou become a hero or join the association.
Yeah,
on the other hand,
motherfucker damn that just annihilated half of the motherfuckers and shit, so I'd be surprised too. Shit, imagine everybody faced with Frieza was in the Tournament of Power.
And with all that has happened, and everyone who was injured in the massive fight against the Monster Association, they need all the help they can get. Not only that, but Sitch recalls the great prophecy that Shibabawa left before she passed on about the Earth being in trouble. As he ponders this, we see large dents in the ground, representing both the upcoming dangers and what has already occurred from the Monster Association. Switching back to Garou and Bang, the retired hero wonders what they could do together considering his student is still underage and can't drink. He decides that they can just have a chat instead so they can get to know each other. With that in mind, the first question that pops into Bang's head is, are there any girls you like? Talk about an unexpected topic. And from Garou's cartoonishly bulging eyes and shocked expression, he was also taken aback. It doesn't end there though. He even tells Bang that he's creeping him out, his arms flailing with disbelief. Bang doesn't relent though, probing to know who he might like, even if it is someone famous. Begrudgingly, Garou tightens up, his eyes sharp with annoyance, and admits he likes Gao Yellow in Gao Ranger. Clearly a parody of the Power Rangers. Her name is Kiro, which also means yellow by the way. It's Bang's turn to be surprised now, not expecting Garou to like an actress from a Sentai show. In case you're wondering, Sentai can mean task force, group, or military unit. For us in the West,
change that S to an H. Got a whole different topic of groups.
The easiest comparison would again be Power Rangers. So Bang is likely surprised that Garou likes someone who basically works as a fictional professional hero, saving lives and protecting people from monsters. The thing he openly hated for so long. Bang then wonders if she's the big, strong, curry-loving type, because that's what the yellow ones usually are. I can't say that I have any experience with that kind of character, but I suppose he must have seen it in his youth. Garou just laughs at him, saying his information is outdated, which, yeah. But because of that, he has a lot to discuss with him about and how these Sentai shows have changed nowadays. As they continue to chat, they walk through the crowd, Garou talking expressively, and Bang glad to have made him open up, even if it's only because of Gao Rangers. Finally, we go to our main heroes, Saitama and Jenkins. They're at the place where they're—
Yes, my nigga! He back! Woo, I was mad in that video.
Home was destroyed, still looking for any items they can find that might have survived the fights. Oh, and Jenkins has his missing limbs back. His arm even says salt proof on it. Likely because he is digging around a lot of seawater and the salt would otherwise damage the material. Dressed like old gardeners, they dig with tools that wouldn't break the items should there be any to find. Jenkins lights up as he finds something, and Saitama can't hide his glee at the huge clan that Jenkins shows off. Behind them, the waves of the ocean rush loudly, creating a vacation feel for the duo. Jenkins continues to dig, now more fiercely as Saitama prepares to lift a huge rock. They hope to find a pot still in the right shape so they can use it. I guess that means they found a lot of clams so far. Poor guys. In the final shot, there is a shadow rustling behind some debris, watching them as they dig for their lost possession. Now this could be two things. Spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't read the webcomic. It is either Rover, who lost quite a lot of power and shrunk to a more compact size, or it is a single cell of Black S that survived the battle against the heroes. But bringing that monster up, what happened to Monaco? Did Sweet Mask end up killing the one-eyed creature, or did she get away with Flashy Flash in the end? On the very last page, there is a bonus image, and it is of Kiro, the girl Garou has a crush on. Unsurprisingly, she is very pretty and likely has blonde hair. And there is a note saying that she looks like his mom. But unlike her, this lady seems like a kind person. In other words, Garou wishes his mom would have been like her. And that's why he likes this actress. At the same time, this lets us know that Garou likely had a bad upbringing, at least when it comes to his mother. And that's the chapter, guys. That is the end of the arc. But best believe that One Punch Man hype is not over just yet, because we have the announcement of Season 3 finally coming through. It is in production. The time is now. One Punch Man is coming back on the map, and apparently it's a different studio, so no more complaints, hopefully.
Thank fucking God, because whoever was animating that fucking second season, they were shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, they were just shit. They took away the whole One Punch Man feel that was in the first season to me. Honestly, they really did.
It's the promised land here. So yeah, if you are hype, and furthermore, if you guys want us to cover the anime when it comes back on the channel, please let us know down below. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching, and have an awesome day. I love you.
Hey man, appreciate you, man, for covering this shit, man. Plot Armor, yeah, got my subscription. Definitely gonna be checking out more of his shit, cause he covers the fucking manga. We might as well do this together, family. You know what I'm saying? But man, this was something good, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys made it this far in the video, do me a favor. Comment gold in the comments, man. Go ahead and do it for the TC3 mob, man. Until the next video. That should be out today anyway.